What is up, effing true followers and wrestling fans? I'm JC Styles here with the effing brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com, back with the Monday Night Raw review for February 18, 2013. Pretty decent night on Raw. Thought last week's episode was a lot better. We did have the fallout from Elimination Chamber. We also almost had a cash-in tonight. So we're going to start off the show right off the bat. We see Cena come walking out. Talks about the road to WrestleMania, and he starts talking about Del Rio versus Jack Swagger, starts talking about himself in the WWE Championship match against The Rock. Then Punk comes out. These guys trade words back and forth, talking about each other's achievements over the last year. CM Punk brings up the incident with the wins and losses, and that how Cena never beat Punk, and that basically Punk uses that to get over on Cena to agree to a match. And that live on next week on Monday Night Raw, we will see CM Punk versus John Cena. The winner will go on and face The Rock at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. We then go to a backstage segment. We see Ryback and Sheamus and Jericho. Ryback is backstage pacing back and forth, aggravated and upset about last night losing the match, being the prime reason they lost the match, getting pinned by Seth Rollins and Sheamus. It looks like these guys were getting ready to kind of like bump heads a little bit, and then Jericho comes into the picture, starts talking, and says that, how about I team up with you guys and we take on the Shield for the first time tonight. He says he's going to go talk to Vicky, and then we come back from commercial break, and then at the bottom of the screen it says Vicky answered Chris Jericho's question via Twitter, that we will see Ryback, Sheamus, and Jericho take on the team of the Shield later in the night. First match of the night, we see Mark Henry defeat Sin Cara. Post-match, Mark Henry goes to endure some more pain onto Sin Cara to make him a inductee into the Hall of Pain. Great Khali comes out, and then as Khali is standing in the ring, Mark Henry kind of walks off. We then see The Miz pick up the win over Cesaro in a non-title match using the figure 4. It was a pretty good match. I'm not going to lie. I thought last night's match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view was a lot better. Obviously, you know, you're on Monday Night Raw, they're time constraint. But definitely with a injured arm, Miz put on a better show last night. This match was pretty good. I'm not going to take anything away from either competitor, but I would have liked to have seen more from this match and possibly seen it go just a little bit longer. Then Cole talks about the World Championship match, Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio. Then announces later in the night that Jack Swagger and Zeb Cutler will be doing a State of the Union address later night on Raw. Then says, here's a quick glimpse of what you will see later on. And then on youtube.com/WeThePeopleZeb, there's a couple of videos of Jack Swagger and Zeb talking about the economy and America and how immigrants and everything. I don't want to get into that. I'm not all about politics. But I'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. We then see Kane and Daniel Bryan talking backstage. They talk about how they don't trust one another as of right now, and that they don't feel comfortable with one another, and that they want singles matches. We then hear Daniel Bryan will take on Jack Swagger, and then Kane starts talking about snakes and how well he doesn't get along with them. Then Randy Orton standing behind Kane, and these guys exchange some words, and I thought it was pretty funny. And they quote, Orton says, you know, Kane, there was a time when that would scare the hell out of me. He then says that Kane traded his pile drivers and choke slams for group therapy and hugs. He went from being a big red monster to being Barney. And then you see him turn around, and Daniel Bryan's laughing. He says, Barney, that's a great one. And then he goes to make a comment back to Randy Orton, and Randy Orton had walked away. We then see a backstage segment with Vicky Guerrero on the phone. Paul Heyman walks up behind her, and Vicky says that she has an announcement that she doesn't want Paul Heyman to miss, and that she needs him in the ring later on tonight. Then Alberto Del Rio picks up the win over Dolph Ziggler. This match was probably match of the night. This match was pretty good. Whenever you get Dolph Ziggler in a match, you know that it's going to be good, because he a lot of people could say he oversells moves. But in my mind, I think he's just such a good showman that he wants to make sure he's putting on a good show. And, you know, even as a heel, for him to do stuff like that really, really gets me behind him, because just he's a good showman. Like, he'll get in the ring and he'll say he's a show-off, and he'll get in the ring and back it up. And I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't the biggest Dolph Ziggler fans, but I'm not a big Dolph Ziggler fan either. But I like it because he's upcoming, he's new, he's fresh, and hopefully we'll see him win the World Heavyweight title. We then see Alberto Del Rio pick up the win. Post-match, Big E Langston jumps in the ring and attacks Del Rio, and he does that kind of like falling slam. I don't really know what they call it, but you guys know which one I'm talking about. The finishing move that he hit on John Cena a few weeks back. Then Ziggler goes to grab the briefcase. As he's getting ready to hand it to the ref, Ricardo jumps on the apron and grabs the briefcase and runs off, being chased by AJ and Ricardo. AJ then grabs the briefcase, runs back to the ring to hand it to Ziggler, and Ziggler is met by insecurity by Alberto Del Rio, and the cash-in is null and void. And there's a new rule with the cash-in. It doesn't count unless the ref rings the bell, and the bell was never rung. We go to commercial, come back. Barrett is in the ring talking about the upcoming movie Dead Man Down, and he talks about how he's going to be the new leading man in Hollywood. And you actually see the trailer. They show the trailer, and he's only in the trailer for like less than a split second, and he's not the star of the movie. I believe it is a WWE Films, but he's not the star of the movie. Colin Farrell is, and Terrence Howard, which that's the reason why I don't think it's an actual WWE film. But in the lower hand corner where it shows the all the actors and everything, it says at the bottom, it has like a little WWE logo there. So I'm wondering. I'm gonna have to look that up and get back to you guys on that. But we then see Sheamus shows up on the big screen, blows Barrett's spot, says that he's not in the he's in the movie, but the reason why he likes the movie is because he doesn't say much in it. And it was, interesting. It looks like it's going to be an interesting movie. I definitely will go see it just because Colin Farrell's in it and my boy Terrence Howard. He's a phenomenal actor. We then see Brodus, Tensai, and Naomi pick up the win over Epico, Primo, and Rosa. Not really going to spend too much time on that match. We then see Swagger and Zeb talking about the economy and the politics and immigrants coming over and taking the rights away from the American working people. Now, like I said, I'm not really going to touch too much on this because it is politics, and I'm not really the greatest. I'm not really into the whole politic thing. But I think that this is really fitting for Jack Swagger's character to be paired with him, because now he has a mouthpiece to help him and really push him. And I'm really, 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 really into Swagger, and since he's come back, he's just really been, on a focused route, and he's just been really doing really good. And I hope that we see big things from him at WrestleMania between him and Alberto Del Rio. Excuse me, I keep saying Dolph Ziggler. We then see Vicky and Heyman in the ring. Vicky says she will be announcing a assistant to the general manager. Raw general manager, advisor, bull, I don't know. She winds up bringing out Brad Maddox. Then, after a couple of minutes, Heyman goes to leave the ring. Vince comes up on the Titantron via satellite and says that, you said last week that you would do anything to get the stipulation added to the Rock CM Punk match. Then, Vince goes, I could fire you, but I think firing you would be too easy. And then he says, next week I'll be live in the middle of that ring, crutches and all, 2 weeks removed from my surgery thanks to Brock Lesnar, and me and you are going to have a fight. We then go back to commercial. We come back. We get to see The Shield pick up their very first win on Monday Night Raw over Ryback, Jericho, and Sheamus. Now, this was probably the second match of the night. This actually was probably made the show good. These three guys from NXT are really, getting in there and really doing everything, and really putting on a great show for the fans. And I am now getting, more look into these guys every time they wrestle. And I always said a couple weeks back, I really hope that they really do a lot more with them than just have them keep honestly interfering in other people's matches. And they are doing that. We got them in Elimination Chamber last night. We got them tonight on Raw, and I hope we see them again next week because they need to start building these guys up. So if you're going to have a feud with WWE's top guys, you need to have them utilized more on Raw so you can help build up a storyline. Then we go into Randy Orton picking up the win over Kane. We then see Daniel Bryan come out, distracting Kane, which allowed Randy Orton to hit the RKO on Kane, picking up the win. We then go into the Rock's WWE Championship celebration. He comes out with the New Orleans University marching band because WrestleMania 30 will be at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in Louisiana. And this was actually a pretty good segment. It was short, sweet, to the point. The Rock talked about the WWE Championship that he was currently holding and said that that title, when was it first introduced 8 years ago, it was interesting, it was cool, it was hip, and it worked. And he wanted to introduce a new title that guys like Stone Cold, Hogan, Bret Hart, Bruno Sammartino, guys that would have been appreciative to hold this championship belt. He unveils the new WWE title, which, if you guys notice, is a picture in the thumbnail there. And honestly, it looks like they took the frame from the old light heavyweight championship, blew it out, put the WWE scratch logo in there, then put 2 Brahma Bull side plates. It's just really big and gaudy. I honestly, in my mind, it looked like a almost a modified spinner version, but it doesn't spin. It's a big WWE logo, and it says champion going like that. And I don't know, if it's just me, I don't know, guys. Leave your comments in the comment box below if you've seen Monday Night Raw and you saw what the new title looks like. Honestly, if they were gonna do a new title, they should have maybe went like an older school route. Like WWE back in the day was always about the Eagles and the Birds and everything, and I thought that maybe they would have kept that and maybe just modified it a little bit. But I guess it's a cool title. We got a new championship after the spinner belt was been in existence for 8 years, so can't complain. But I just wish they would have put more thought into the design of the championship. So guys, thanks for watching. Please leave your comments in the comment box below. And for the F brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com, I'm JC Styles, and I'll catch you later.